Acknowledge me, the one.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be with St. Kilda when the Saints go marching in.
Oh, when the Saints
Oh, when the Saints go marching
go
in.
marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. You know how I want to be with St. Kilda when the Saints go marching in. Oh, yes, the Saints got the W against the Giants. They withstanded the orange tsunami. The Saints get a top 4 premiership contender victory against a side that'll be in that contention come the end of the season. All those jealous Saints haters, they want to bring up the bloody money players are on. What's the narrative going to be this week, everyone? Oh, I thought it was the money Saints that keep losing. Last time I checked, we only lost by 2 goals against Melbourne and Collingwood. Collingwood are going to be a top 8 side. Melbourne are around St Kilda on the ladder from last year. So I don't know why you had that narrative. Oh, that's right. It's because you want to have a go at the Saints, but doing something different. And what's the narrative this week? Is it, the Saints got lucky. They should have lost if GWS kicked straight. We missed plenty of easy shots ourselves. We dominated the Giants in the first quarter, the second quarter. The third quarter was relatively even. The last quarter, sure, they got a late scare, the Saints, but we got the job done. And last time I checked, 4 points is 4 points. And we actually won and deserved that bloody victory. So everyone's going quiet this week. Now, people want to bag TDK, Sam Flanders, Liam Ryan, Jack Silvani on supposedly massive money that they don't deserve. People need to learn how the salary cap actually works. You have to spend a certain amount of money in a certain amount of years. St Kilda had to use it somewhere, otherwise no one gets it. So why not use it to bring players in? There's actually smart strategic strategy from the list management crew in the Saints. So cry about it. As Liv Morgan would say, if you don't like it, you can go cry about it. And a lot of salty tears, a lot of salty Carlton supporters in particular, and jealous St Kilda haters that the Saints got the job done, crying on social media that the Saints deserve to lose. No. We earned that victory 100%. Players out, all the talk and hate on us. We got the job done. They were missing players too, which levels it out. The Saints earned that bloody victory, and the jealous haters can cry about it. As Ross Lyon did during the week, he gave the bird to people. That's what us Saints fans say to every single St Kilda hater. That is for you. What Ross Lyon did during the week as a joke, that's all at the Saints haters. To the haters. Sayonara. You're out of here. What are you going to use this week? They're playing the premiership side in Brisbane this week. What's your excuse going to be if we win that, huh? The narrative about the Saints money, guys, is uncalled for. I mean, no side goes undefeated throughout the whole season. The Saints went bold. TDK was amazing on the weekend. Sam Flanders was amazing. Those two will be highlighted specifically very soon. And Jack Silvani, again, played his part. Again, what a great recruit he's been. And Liam Ryan had a big moment goal late in the game, which was a very important goal. So we'll go through that game later on. Some sides, it's not been so good. Scoops' bang is you're in for a big one, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a massive one. We'll go through my Super Coach Team of the Week, Super Coach, as I said, and review and preview the rounds just gone and upcoming. All right. Now, it is time to say this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, wish them a happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper facebook.com/SCOOPG. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players and any state league players and you want to see them on the channel in a goal kicking challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Join my Scoops fan club, Supercoach AFL code 267549. So get onto that. I would really, really appreciate it. Oh, it is now time. It is here. Everyone's favorite segment on this program, and of all programs, let's be real, it's time for that world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Well, 3 topics to bang on about. First one, to the TDK, Tom De Koning haters, in particular Carlton fans. You should worry about your own backyard. Carlton are a complete and utter mess right now. They are absolute dog shit right now. So we'll specify about what TDK did on the weekend. In wet, slippery conditions, lightning before the game, everything like that. You know, he was great. 21 disposals for a ruckman is amazing. 3 behinds, which all easily could have been goals. 7 score involvements and 27 hit-outs. Dominated his opponent, Kieran Briggs, who did absolutely nothing. Had like 13 hit-outs and 10 disposals. Now, people are going on about his disposal efficiency, TDK. Last time I checked, like I said, it was wet conditions. Ruckman and their disposal efficiency isn't necessarily a high number. Was his disposal efficiency low? Yes, it was. There's no debating that. But if you actually watched the game, he dominated Briggs, who was non-existent. TDK set up a lot of play. That the stat sheet sometimes doesn't play in some players' favour. And this was one of those games. I've seen some moron online saying that this was like the second worst statistically played game of all time. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's why you can shove those stats up your ass, because that's completely and utter dog shit. Okay? Because 7 score involvements, 27 hit-outs, when his opponent had 13 hit-outs, that's double, essentially, what Briggs had. He had double the disposals and more, and had 3 shots at goals where Briggs had 0. So TDK destroyed Briggs, and Marshall played in the ruck as well. So his numbers for hit-outs are going to be a bit lower when he's sharing the ruck load with Rowan Marshall and any other player for that matter. So he was simply amazing. The only reason people are hating on his game is because of the efficiency and the money tag he's on. No one would bash an eyelid if he was on 700,000, but because he's on roughly 1.7k million per year, people want to have a go at him. We love TDK at the Saints. He's a great guy. Met him at grand final week. Lovely guy, and everything like that. But to the topic on hand, he played well on the weekend. Scrappy conditions, wet conditions, the ball was slippery. Everyone was dropping the ball. Everyone was dropping marks. So why are we signalling out one player? You're bagging the player that murdered his opponent on the field from a football sense. He destroyed him. Briggs did nothing. TDK and Marshall combination worked amazingly well. But we're not hearing that narrative because the AFL media can't give any credit to TDK, to Rowan Marshall, who both worked well again on the weekend, just like they did in the first round against Collingwood. So you're all quiet now, but people online want to bring up the efficiency. Watch the game. He had a lot of contested possessions as well. A lot of his packs were like in and under, kicking the ball out into our forward 50, and it was a scrap and a tackling and everything like that. So it created opportunities for us to score, hence the 7 score involvements. But let's forget about the major stats and only bring up a small stat that at the end of the day didn't mean jack shit in the grand scheme of things. Okay? Okay? It meant nothing in the end. Because at the end of the day, he dominated Briggs, we won the game, and he did very well. So, to the TDK haters, get stuffed. Seriously, get stuffed. Going to the haters of TDK, we're going to add Jack Silvani and Charlie Curnow now to this conversation. All these shit Carlton pages, fan pages, so-called content creators, all they are is people with a platform that don't know how to do anything but talk shit. I mean, unless they're trying to talk shit, then they're doing well at that. But they don't know how to talk sense. They don't have any brain. They just talk complete and utter shit. I'm not naming any Carlton creators because they're not worth my airtime, so they're not getting name dropped. You can draw your own conclusions to who I'm talking about. Let's just say all those channels that go for Carlton that talk shit about TDK and Jack Silvani and Charlie Curnow, you should all be benched off the platforms. And you say you're besties to these players. No, you are not. You are not. There is maybe one or two Carlton fan channels that I can respect, and they're two people's channels I've been on, that being Terry and Pommy. Now, of all the other Carlton channels I know, no respect for any of them because they don't deserve it for the amount of crap they spew out and disrespect their own plays. These same channels that loved Charlie Curnow, TDK, and Silvani last year, and then they bagged the shit out of them and they're critiquing, they're really bullying some of these channels, not all of them, but some of these channels are literally bullying these players. Like St Kilda got the win on the weekend, and all I saw was trash talking Tom De Koning by a certain channel. And it's completely pathetic. It's completely pathetic. And these other channels, along with this channel from the weekend, continue to bash TDK, Curnow, and Silvani. Worry about your own backyard. You picked up Campbell Chesser, who couldn't get a game at West Coast. I'm trying to think of the other players you picked up. Ben Ainsworth hasn't done anything. Ollie Florent's been okay. Will Hayward kicked a couple of goals here and there, but done nothing for the bulk of the games. So worry about your own backyard and worry about your coach, who kept Lewis Young on Tom Lynch for basically the entire game when he was dominating. Tom Lynch hasn't dominated for years, and you made him look like Lance Franklin of his prime. Worry about your shit team and stop worrying about other clubs and get over yourself. No wonder TDK left, Silvani left, Curnow left, and others have left and will continue to leave because you've got a shit fan base who just shits on players that leaves. You don't see me bagging Jack Steele or Tim Membry or Jade Gresham or Jack Billings when they left. Didn't say a bad word about them. The Moose, Max Heath, haven't said a bad word about them because I have respect for my players even when they leave. Even Josh Battle, I was angry that he left, but I'm not shit-talking him and bagging him and making weekly videos insulting him. He went to Hawthorn. I didn't like it. I don't agree with it, but we move on. Carlton fans need to move on from Tom De Koning, Jack Silvani, and Charlie Curnow. All three are going to succeed at the clubs they are now at. Now they can succeed at their clubs and not be at the bottom of the barrel shit team like Carlton is and will continue to be. Fanta Club are the Carlton Football Club, and their fan base an absolute scum, especially those creators. They want to call themselves creators. They're just people with a platform that don't know what they're talking about. All they care about is clicks and views. And one more thing I'll leave with that. Some of these channels, I have to laugh. When the Charlie Curnow trade was going on, they're like, yeah, we love you, Charlie. The second he was gone, they hated his guts. And you got Ollie Florent and Will Hayward for Charlie Curnow and all these other picks, all right? Okay? During the trade period when that talk was happening, these channels said they didn't want Ollie Florent or Will Hayward. They were bagging them, saying how shit they are. And now they suck up to those two players. Ironic, right? You think I don't remember? I've got a memory, and I know those Carlton fans bagged Ollie Florent and Will Hayward when the talk was that they could be getting them. They didn't want them, they said. And now they love them too all of a sudden. I've got no issue with any of the Carlton players, by the way, but I'm just saying these people had a problem with them. I think Will Hayward's a solid player. I think Ainsworth can be a solid player. But worry about critiquing your own bloody shit team, and we'll worry about our own team. You worry about your own shit club and shit team and a coach that should not be there. But you kept him because your club accepts mediocrity. My club no longer accepts mediocrity. If you're shit, you're out. And Charlie Curnow is loving life in Sydney. Silvani and De Koning are loving life at the Saints. They are so damn happy they're out of that rabble called Carlton and away from their shitty fan base. Pathetic. Right. Away from that, and Carlton loses. Well, actually, speaking of a loser, Patrick Voss. He's bullying towards Harrison Petty is not the first time Patrick Voss has done something. He also stole shots off teammates. That Josh Tracy one at the end of the game when Tracy could have gone for 5 goals at that time, late in the game. I think it was a minute or two to go. Tracy was near the boundary line. The ball was bombed down the foot by a Melbourne player. And Voss sprinted past Tracy to try and steal the shot. I'm glad the umpire didn't allow that. This just shows the tendencies that Patrick Voss has. He always says he's Patrick Voss and he's got a big chest. Apparently, he always says, well, the only thing you've got is an ego that is out of this world ridiculous. Like, good for you. You've been better at Fremantle than you were at Essendon. But you cross the line again. You push players behind play with their backs turned. I said this last year when St Kilda played them. Done it to another team. I can't remember the other team. So he's done it multiple times. Now, the Harrison Petty thing was out of line. He deserved to be suspended for that. They gave him a fine of $1,500 or something like that. Now, Harrison Petty has been involved in his own things that he's done over time. And, you know, he isn't one to talk about not doing stuff like Voss. But in this incident, and what's potentially a reference to what happened with Zorko all those years ago, is out of line from Patrick Voss. There's a line you don't cross, and he crossed it. He's already had a cross in his career from Essendon. They delisted him because he was shit. Fremantle gave him an opportunity. He needs to be dropped this week because he also played shit. And that doesn't surprise me because I think he's completely overrated. He needs to earn his respect back and go play in the waffle and actually get a kick first. And no matter if he was the best player in the comp, I'd be saying the same thing. He crossed the line for what he did to Petty. Petty has done stuff to players over time as well. But from what's been shown and reported, Petty did nothing wrong here. So Patrick Voss, completely out of line, completely unacceptable. Yeah, I mentioned something he did with Josh Tracy already, but I read somewhere also that he also did that to other players. He took Jackson out of a marking contest inside 50, and he took the ball out of Shy Bond's hands in the centre square. That's Patrick Voss for you. Oh, yeah, but I'm Patrick Voss and I've got a big chest, he says. Well, that's what people say. Like, seriously? You're not even a good player. Get a kick first, and then maybe, just maybe, you can flex with things like that. Pathetic. He's a player that should be dropped. Simple as that. Now, Kane Cornes. Now, Kane Cornes leaves his dumb takes for Monday night on Channel 7 and all platforms he's on. But, of course, this was after I recorded this podcast last Monday night. Kane Cornes has topped himself for the dumbest comment he's ever made. And he makes dumb comments on the regular every week. Last week, he said this about Sam Flanders and Latrelle Pickett. He said this. I am not paraphrasing. This is actually what he said. Would Saints fans rather Sam Flanders running around kicking high balls inside forward 50, or would they rather Latrelle Pickett absolutely lining up the MCG? I guarantee you I know what Melbourne would rather, says Kane Cornes. Number one, Kane, you are a complete clown. Sam Flanders, 28 disposals, 24 disposals in his 3 games. He was great on the weekend, great impact. It was a key part to why we won. The 2 games we lost, he was in both games and done very well. Latrelle Pickett had like 7 touches at 50% and like 3 turnovers on the weekend, goalless. The week before against us, he got a goal that shouldn't have been a goal because he ran too far. Goal of the year nomination for starters, ridiculous. Like, seriously, Kane. What complete and utter shit. Now, Kane, if you actually bothered to do your research, you said you know who Melbourne would rather, and they don't want Flanders. Mate, they literally wanted Sam Flanders. They were in the clubs, in the contention for Sam Flanders. They clearly rated Sam Flanders more than Latrelle Pickett at the time because they went for him, and the pick they got would have been on-traded from Gold Coast to Petrarca. So they clearly wanted Sam Flanders. And then the picks for Petrarca would have happened from Gold Coast to Melbourne. But Kane, Melbourne wanted Sam Flanders. So clearly they rated Sam Flanders, you idiot. Seriously. And to the topic at hand, on top of that, who would you rather, Latrelle Pickett or Sam Flanders? Sam Flanders is 24. Latrelle Pickett is 20. I mean, anyone with a brain would want Sam Flanders over Latrelle Pickett. Who wants a player that gets 5 disposals and doesn't get a goal? I mean, I know your team, Kane, has a bunch of SANFL hacks at Port Adelaide and had a lot playing on the weekend. You want Latrelle Pickett over Sam Flanders? Thank God you're not the list manager at St Kilda or any club. Because the mess Essendon are in right now, they'd be in a far worse of a mess if you were in charge of Essendon. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just doing this for attention, clicks, and views. You prove that every week, Kane. I used to respect you, but that's out the window when you talk shit like this. Sam Flanders is miles better than Latrelle Pickett now or will ever be. Sam Flanders will be an all-Australian player. He's been in the squad before over his career. Hopefully a premiership player. Either way, even if he doesn't get any of that, he will still have better football accomplishments than Latrelle Pickett. He'll have more disposals on average. He'll probably get more goals than Latrelle Pickett. Latrelle Pickett should be dropped this week, by the way, Kane. But I haven't heard you talk about that. He was non-existent against Fremantle. Why aren't you saying that now? Do you see how much of a fool you look now, Kane? I mean, I guess you don't care because you do it on a regular basis. But Latrelle Pickett is nowhere near better than Sam Flanders now, soon, or ever. If you think that Latrelle Pickett's better than Sam Flanders, Kane, you have zero ball knowledge. Zero. Also, today, just quickly on a side note, David King was pumping up St Kilda saying people overreacted, including yourself. And you kept laughing and saying no, essentially, that you didn't overreact. You can never admit when you are wrong. Kingy, keep that up. Question him more. And, yeah, Kane, you're an embarrassment, seriously. If you think Latrelle Pickett is better than Sam Flanders, or people would rather Latrelle Pickett over Sam Flanders, you don't know football. Because the same club that's got Latrelle Pickett literally wanted Sam Flanders themselves and really went aggressively to get him. And he chose my Saints. So, Kane, do your research, mate. Pathetic. Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Now it's time to go through my Scoops AFL Team of the Week. Very strong defenders this week. From the back line, Callum Wilkie and Bodie Hewland. Full back, Tom Barrass. Back line, the flankers again, 3 times in a row. Jack Sinclair. And Lockie Ash. Centre half back, Jordan Butts. Wingers, Shy Bolton and Jason Horn Francis. Centreman, Andrew Brayshaw. Half forward line, the flankers, Jack Gunston and Dylan Moore. Centre half forward, Ethan Reid. Forward pockets, Larky and Joel Frazier. Full forward, all hail the king, Ben King, who kicked 7-1 on Ben. Ruck, Tristan Cherry. Rovers, Harry Sheasel and Zach Butters. Interchange, Josh Tracy. Took Miller. Luke Davies-Uniacke, Jai Newcomb and Darcy Wilson. Emergencies, Harley Reid, Jaden Short, Luke Ryan, welcome back, Logan McDonald, and Aaliyah. Now, this is my team of the week on the screen for you all to see. So, get that banner off. So, reasons for these selections. Well, Callum Wilkie picks himself. Well, he speaks for himself, but he picks himself. 28 disposals, like 13 intercepts. Need I say more? Tom Barras, about 15 disposals, about 13 to 11 intercepts and 1 percenters. Need I say more? I don't need to say any more than I've already said. He's a gun, Tom Barras, and a great pickup for the Hawks. So, yeah. Where are you? Brody Hewland had 26 disposals off the back line for the Suns, deserved a spot. Jack Sinclair, 31 disposals, high efficiency, plus 80%. Some score involvements and done really well. Did Sinks, the co-captain with Wilkes. Jordan Butts, he put Butts on seats for the Crows on Friday night. One of his best games ever. Kicked a goal, his first goal in 86 games as a key defender. That's not unusual. Got to kick 2 and should have when he got a 100-metre penalty, but there we are. He had like 18 disposals, had like 13 intercepts, 13 1%ers. Absolute lock was Jordan Butts, and he may be getting 3 votes in that game come Brownlow night. Lockie Ash had 38 disposals. I thought he was really good for the Giants. Shy Bolton kicked 2 goals in 32 and had like 13 score involvements and deserved a spot. Andy Brayshaw, a goal in 39. He deserved it. Horn Francis kicked 3 in 24, albeit some goals out the back on his own, but, you know, wasn't as strong to pick a team this week, so he made it. Jack Gunston kicked 4. Ethan Reid kicked 4. Dylan Moore kicked 2 in 28, or 2 in 24, sorry. Larky kicked 6 and deserved it. He was amazing for the Roos in their embarrassing loss to the Eagles. Ben King, 7 goals, 11 disposals, was absolutely phenomenal. Joel Frazier kicked 2 or 3 goals. I can't remember if it was 3 or 2 with 26 disposals, so he deserved a spot on the team. Tristan Cherry had like 48 hit-outs, 25 disposals. I think 24 of those 25 were contested. So that's a big, big number. Destroyed Matt Flynn. Harry Sheasel had 40 disposals. Not his best 40 disposal game, though, but a solid game nonetheless and deserved it in this team of the week. Zach Butters was Port Adelaide's best player with 36 disposals. Josh Tracy kicked 4, so deserved a spot this week. Took Miller, a goal in 31, did well. Luke Davies-Uniacke, goal in 31. Jai Newcomb, a goal in 28, was good, or 31, sorry. LDU was 28. And Darcy Wilson, 1 goal and like 24 touches. He was a key part to the Saints in the first half, having 16 disposals and a goal then. He did really, really well. So he deserved a spot for sure. Harley Reid was the next midfielder chosen. Jaden Short, 33 disposals halfback, was next. So was Luke Ryan. Logan McDonald, next key forward. And Aaliyah. He had 20 disposals and 19 marks, but a lot of those were chip kicks sideways at the end of the game where he may have had 3 or 4 in one play. But that's my team of the week. Comment down below what you think. I wanted to fit some Eagles players in there, but they had even contributors in their win, like Milan Murdoch, Harley Reid, Jack Graham, Hamish Davis as well. But yeah, that's my team of the week. So comment down below what you all think of that. So, all right. Now, let's go through my Supercoach talk. I scored 1,775. And I am in the top 26. 26%. Just putting that graphic up for you all here. So, look, an improvement with Gordon sitting on the bench and everything like that. I had to make some adjustments to my team. So, Milan Murdoch I put in last second because Rosie got injured, Petrarca's got injured. Already had Gordon. I was going to wait for a particular player that had to buy this week to bring him into my team. So 1775, top 26%. With everything that happened with Rosie and Petrarca and that being a premium short, having Dacos and Neil have a buy, I'm actually pretty happy with this score when you add that all together. And went up in the rankings as well from like 30% to 26. So relatively happy with that, to be honest. Put everything around it. But yeah, I can't really be too angry, mainly with the injuries because they're players I didn't want to get rid of, and Rosie doesn't have a bullshit buy at the moment. So it would have been ideal for me to keep him, but it is what it is there. So can't do much about that, unfortunately. So I'm going to put my team on the screen for you all to see because I want to show you how I went. So this is my team from Rucks. I had Brody Grundy 135, Jackson 113, Lockie McAndrew 79 on the bench, Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders. Filippo played 57% game time. Lombard was shit. Dev Robinson was great on 95. Lockie Dobson 45, a lot of points late. So he's a watch to get rid of over time. I didn't really want him to begin with. Finn McRae can't get a game yet and probably won't again this week. Todd Marshall 73 points. I'm happy with that. Obviously, Petrarca's out injured. I have made my trades already. I may be using a boost as of now, but I won't be telling you who I'm bringing in. And then the backline, Sinclair, Malira, amazing. Rosie was injured. Lockie Jarks, 70 was good. Sam Grill, 43. I loopholed Josh Lindsay to Jai Sarong. Michael Sower did well, but at that point, I couldn't change it. So, yep, the Sydney had already played. Did they? Yeah, they did on Thursday night, yep. Butters, Dacos, Anderson, Carroll, Sharp, Watkins, Lemires, and Milan Murdoch, the late inclusion of Dan Annable, literally last second. But this week I get Neil back, so he comes on the field with Dacos, even though he was on the field but didn't play, obviously. But it's only top 18 again this week, so that's why some players on the field didn't play, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I get Neil back, get Dacos back. My Gordon replacement's in. Jacob Smith's back on the field as well. Lockie Jarks will go for maybe no one this week. I may not trade someone. I may trade Rosie to someone as well. And then, as I said, in the other position, Petrarca, I'll be trading out. It's more depending on how I do it because I don't think there's any good forwards. Do I put him into the flex and put Marshall into the forward line and trade Petrarca for a mid or a defender or a ruck? So we'll have to wait and see where I go with that. But I'm happy with my score, all things put together. So, it is what it is. So I'm relatively happy with that. 3 trades I'm looking at: Petrarca, Rosie, and Gordon. So, but will I bring in 3 premiums for them? You'll have to wait and find out. That's why I got Milan Murdoch now last second, because it would have been 4 trades I would have had to do. Dawson Sharp's also injured with an ankle, so I don't know if he's going to miss games or not, but he'll be sitting on the bench, even if he does play, to be honest, because he didn't play much the first game, and this week he was pretty average before he got injured in the third quarter. So clearly with that score. So you have to weigh everything up there. But I've got a plan, and hopefully it works and go up the rankings again. So I need to make a statement. I'm playing a premium short last week. On reflection, may not have helped. Injuries aside, I needed to go big now and get up the rankings dramatically now to get back in a respectable position. But it's early days. Just have to put in more good performances for my players and stop having bloody injuries. Right, so let's review the round 2 game, shall we? When that banner will work, thank you. Hawthorn 99, Sydney 82. Hawthorn by 17 points. Sydney got as far as 20 points up. McInerney, Grundy was amazing in the ruck and destroyed Meek and Reeves. Meek looked terrible. John Newcomb and Dylan Moore and Connor McDonald were some of Hawthorn's better players, along with Jack Gunston. Sydney, Grundy, McInerney, some of their better players. Close game the whole way through. Had both their chances to, get the win. But it was Hawthorn, unfortunately, that prevailed in the end. Adelaide 88, Bulldogs 94, Bulldogs for 6 points. Gee, if Geelong's not the most protected club in the competition, it's definitely the Bulldogs then, if it's not Geelong, because Jesus Christ, the worst umpiring of the season. We're only 2.5 rounds in if you include gather round. So, opening round, gather round shit also like opening round, but here we are. It's just like, seriously? The worst umpiring ever. How many times can Bulldogs get protected? It's actually ridiculous. I've just had enough. Like that Ben Keys one late in the game. He was on the ground already, stretched out for the ball, tapped the ball before the Bulldogs player, I think it was Michael Selwood, got to the ground, dove like Patrick Dangerfield did to Liam Stocker round 1 of 2024 against the Saints. I would know. I was there. It was right in front of me, and I was pissed off. This reminded me of that in a key part of the game. Cue Bulldogs getting protected. It's funny. I got called I'm a Crows fan so many times that night. It was actually hilarious that people have no brain cells, that I don't back for the Crows. I don't really care if they win or not. So I got called a Collingwood supporter. Basically anything but a Saints supporter. I support every other team, basically. A range of 5 teams, probably, I got told. Collingwood, Adelaide, Port Adelaide. It's quite cringe and hilarious how ridiculous some people are. The Bulldogs just got lucky. They got a default victory by 6 points. For Adelaide, Rankin had a big moment late, but he looked a bit sloppy and rusty in his performance. I don't think he played well at all. Josh Worrell was really good. Lachlan McAndrew did really well for the Bulldogs. Joel Frazier was one of their better players. They didn't have major standouts. So, yep, the game's on Saturday. Richmond Gold Coast. Richmond were going well early, and then 5 goals, I think it was, late in the second quarter when Tom Lynch went off. All went downhill there. Toby Nankervis done his hamstring late as well in the game, so they'll both be out for a while, you would think. Gold Coast ended up winning 60 to 128. You expect that from a side like Richmond. They'll be disappointed, though. Their lack of tall forwards, mature key forwards and defenders is not good for them. Their depth and their ruck is horrible. Like, Samson Ryan's injured at the moment. I think it's another week or so to go. And then you got a Cat B rookie, Oliver Hayes-Brown or something. He may have to make his debut. And Richmond have Fremantle, so he's going to have Luke Jackson and likely Sean Darcy. So, yeah, good luck with that. Richmond had some players that did well, though. Jaden Short did good. Vloston done okay. For Gold Coast, Ben King was amazing. King the 7. Joel Jeffrey was all right again. Tuke Miller was good again. Noah Anderson was whatever. For his standards, he wasn't that good. Leo Lombard should be dropped this week. I hope not for my super coach, but they got the bye this week, but the week after. But Gold Coast did what they had to do. They dominated. But these second halves, or half a game, is that a concern for Gold Coast? They had 3 strong quarters against Geelong, then just let them pile on goals late. Then the second half against West Coast, they lost by 3 points. Then the first half, until the last 10 minutes of the second quarter, they were level and losing to Richmond just. So is that a little concern and a trend for the Suns? You would hope not if you're a Suns supporter. So watch your space on that. That's one thing I'm keeping an eye out on for sure with the Suns. GWS 74, St Kilda 78, Saints by 4 points. Oh, when the Saints get another win, it's great to see. And for poor people say to me, I say Saints get another win. How? We won the preseason games against Essendon and Gold Coast. However, really happy. Jack Silvani, amazing down back. Cal Wilkie, amazing. Alex Taru went forward this game for most of it and kicked 2 goals. I was happy with his performances. At times, Max Hall had some good moments in the second and third quarter. Darcy Wilson was amazing for about 3.5 quarters. Sam Flanders was amazing throughout the whole game. TDK was amazing through the whole game. Jack Higgins kicked 2 goals in a row in the space of 5 minutes in the second quarter, I think it might have been, or first. He did well in his moments he had. But yeah, Rowan Marshall played well up forward and in the ruck, especially in the ruck when he was in the ruck. But yeah, it gelled pretty well. Windhager did a good job. I'm just having a blank. So many good plays, it's hard to remember them all. But yeah, it's great to see. Liam Stockett came back into the side and should have been in there. Anthony Caminetti done his hamstring at the start of the game. But he shouldn't have been in. Dougal Howard should have been, and that's what should be the replacement this week for Caminetti. It better not be Keeler or someone else that plays a different position, because I won't be happy, and that will just show that they've given up on Dougal Howard, which is stupid if they have. So really happy with the win. Lockie Ash was GWS's best player. Jake Stringer, dog-shotting plays behind play is all he did all game. Whinging at his teammates. Like Patrick Voss, should be dropped this week. Simple as that. Toby Green wasn't good. He was well held. I don't know who was on him. I think it might have been Stocker when he was up forward. And that's why Liam Stocker should be in the team. Simple as that. Toby Green's a gun, an All-Australian star captain, and did nothing. Stocker, or whoever played on him, should be bloody happy with how they went. It might have been Windy as well, because he played mainly half-back for Windhager as well. But yeah, really happy with the Saints' victory. Going to the Premiers Brisbane this week. They probably get Zach Bailey and Hugh McCluggage back. Of course. Fremantle, Melbourne, 118-70, 48 points. This was about 60-odd points at one point, so Freo did well, especially at the start of the game. Jack Steele was Melbourne's best player, but he had 53% efficiency and 13 turnovers for his goal and 31. Sorry, he's 31, no goal this week. Love Steely, but, he done well. He tried. That's all you can ask. Half the Melbourne team didn't try, so Max Gawn was all right as well. Freo, it was Bolton, it was Brayshaw, it was Tracy. Luke Ryan in the back line was really good. Alex Pearce, does he need to have time off from an injury? He just looks playing injured. Should he retire? That's probably another thing people have probably thought of lately, and I've heard people say over time. Time will have to tell there. But they got the win and dominated Melbourne from start to basically the end. Sunday, Port Adelaide, they decided to turn up this week and get a win, but it was against Essendon though. 133-70, 63-point victory to the Power. Butters was great as usual. Rosie started well before his bad injury. Cop 2, likely his hamstring, could be out for about 3 months, it sounds like. Now, he said he felt numb in his leg and couldn't really move it, so hopefully Connor's all good. Lukosius kicked 2 goals, but I don't know how he got 110 Supercoach. That's ridiculous. Mitch Georgiades started well. I thought Jack Watkins played his part when Rosie was injured as well. Had 24 disposals or something like that. Zach Butters' best mate. They passed the ball to each other a lot, I noticed as well. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that. For Essendon, Zach Merritt was okay, but they were completely dog shit. What Brad Scott said was fair enough criticism as well. Darcy Parish had a pathetic, lazy effort in the third quarter. I don't know who the Port player was, but he just waltzed past him, kicked a goal. It might have been the third quarter. And Brad Scott mentioned senior players, according to John Ralph. They were pathetic, and there's a cultural problem with the senior players not putting in the effort. I'm presuming that was about Darcy Parish, because that was pathetic from him, and he should be embarrassed. And Brad Scott should make a statement and drop players like that. The problem is, though, they've got no one else. Jay Gresham should be back in the side. I thought Isaac Kako played really well for his 1 goal, 5 and 11 disposals and 6 score involvements. I thought he played really well, so I'll give him the credit. Hussein Al-Ashkar should not be playing. I don't know why he's got a game in the first place, to be honest. But here we are. Prolate, though, spanked them from start to finish. And the last game to go through was West Coast and North Melbourne. 111 to the Eagles, 94 to the Eagles. 111 to the Eagles, 94 to the Roos. The Eagles by 17 points. Now, all the haters of West Coast, round 11, 2025 was their last win. They got the win. They got the W, trailing by 5 goals at quarter time. Backs against the walls. They never say die attitude Minnie has installed in the Eagles yesterday. Really happy for the Eagles. Don't go for them or anything, but really proud for them. North Melbourne got their win last week, got to their head. They got the 5 goals up, and they shit the bed. Zurha, all again, worries about is fighting people. Charlie Compton, what he did to Harley Reid, although Harley Reid did provoke him, was uncalled for and should have been suspended for that, or should be suspended for that. We don't know as of this recording. He's probably only getting a fine. But Harley Reid played well. Alan Murdoch played well. Hamish Davis played well. Jack Graham played great. Liam Baker played great. Job Shanahan was great. Cooper Duff Tytler was great. Willem Dersma was great. North Melbourne, Sheasel, Cherry, and Larky. But Clarko just doesn't look interested. What happened to the Clarko of old that were rip and tear players apart for having shit performances? I don't see that no more. I think it's time he leaves, as he doesn't look as interested as he maybe once was. He's been a great coach over time, but I think it's got past him and he needs to step away from the coaching role and pass it on to someone else that has probably a bit more passion or something like that. It doesn't seem like he has, because he used to get ruthless and angry all the time, and now we're not hearing anything. So maybe that's something North should look at. They're succeeding in the women's competition, but in the men's, they're not. The women's are an amazing team. They're undefeated, everything like that. They're simply phenomenal. But the men's team are not, and they proved it on the weekend, choking a 5-goal lead against a side that hadn't won for half a season. So, concerning for the Roos, Larky, Cherry, and Sheasel, I feel bad for them, and some other guys. They just need to step their game up. O'Sullivan was good for the Roos as well at times. Parker tries, as he always does. How Jack Darling gets a game. How are you even got a contract? I said at the time, how did North offer him 2 years? He should not be playing again. He should be playing in VFL and retire, because he's terrible now. Has been for a while. Let's be real. He had a good career over time. The last few years he's been crap. So, and his last year at West Coast was the same. So, no surprise there. They're small forwards out of form. Paul Curtis is a great player, and I rated Paul Curtis last year, but this year he's been a bit quiet. The other small forwards, you can't really name them because they haven't really done anything to even think about. Zach Bant should be playing over some of those small forwards that got in right now. Just saying. He was fine for them last year as I think he was a pre-season signing, Zach Bant from Werribee. Why is he not getting the game? Tough as nails, small in stature, but hard of gold. Is that the saying? I don't know. Anyway, he probably deserves a game over some of the others in that team. I'm telling you that right now. That's for sure. Callum Coleman-Jones should maybe come into the team as well. Take Zurhar out or something. I don't care that Zurhar's experienced and tough. Having placed behind play is not tough. What Compton did isn't tough. What Patrick Voss did isn't tough. But yeah, amazing effort from the Eagles to come back, dominate. The Roos came back a little bit, and the Eagles said, not on my watch. Jack Graham, Liam Baker, Tim Kelly had moments. He didn't have a big game, but he had his moments. All those players I mentioned before, Jack Graham, Harry Edwards was concussed early in the game, was Harry Edwards, who was going to probably be unlucky. Tyler Young, should not be getting a game. Remember, Eagles have got Brandon Starcevich to come back too, who immensely helped their back line a lot. I know they only beat the Roos, but the effort against Gold Coast in the second half last week to win that half by 3 points, then to beat the Roos after being 5 goals down for a side in the rebuilding stage. Dev Robinson as well was amazing. Well done to the Eagles. Great job. It's great to see. That's for sure. All right, let's do my tips for round 3 to wrap us up this evening, shall we? Right, okay. So 4 teams have the bye again. It's complete dog shit. Hawthorn, Sydney Bulldogs and Gold Coast are not playing this week. So Thursday night at Shavers Stadium, which is GMHBA Stadium, it's Geelong, Adelaide, 7:30 Victorian time. I'll be tipping the Crows in this one by 5 points. Friday night at Marvel Stadium at 7:40 Victorian time, Collingwood and the Giants. I'll be tipping no Jack Buckley now for the Giants as well, apparently in concussion protocol. I'll be tipping the Pies in this one by 1 point. Saturday, 12:35 p.m. at Marvel Stadium, part of a Marvel Stadium double header. That's probably why it's so early. 12:35 p.m. Victorian time, my Saints hosting Brisbane. I'm going to tip the Saints by 7 points. Obviously, Hugh McCluggage will be back. Zach Bailey. Now, watch your space on Tom Duday coming back from an injury, whether he gets a game and making his Brisbane debut. He's had a lot of injuries, Tommy Duday. Great leader at the Crows and a great player there when he played. but injuries have been hampering his career the whole way through. But I'll go the Saints by 7 points. 4:15 p.m. at Optus Stadium, Fremantle and Richmond. I'll be tipping Fremantle on this one by 78 points. Bold call, but it wouldn't really be a bold call. Darcy and Jackson, or whoever the two rucks are, will combine for 70-plus hit-outs against Richmond's rucks. Or ruck, or part-time ruck. Campbell Gray, is it Ollie Brown? Have to wait and see. 7:35 p.m. at Marvel Stadium on Saturday night, Victorian time. It's Essendon and North Melbourne. Good God. Gee, what about a snooze fest? I'll be tipping North Melbourne in this one by 17 points. Sunday at Adelaide Oval, 12:30 p.m. Victorian time. It's 12 o'clock Adelaide time. Port Adelaide and the Eagles. Ooh. I've tipped Port Adelaide on my tipping, but I might change that. I'll go Port Adelaide by 1 point, but gee, no Rosie as well. We don't know what's to go with Miles Bergman. If Miles Bergman is out on top of Rosie, I'll be tipping West Coast. If not, I'll tip Port Adelaide. 3:15 at the MCG Victorian time on Sunday. It's Carlton and Melbourne. Gee, talk about a snooze fest. I'll be tipping Melbourne in this one by 1 point. We'll start off with this to wrap us up this evening. Not start us up, finish us up here. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Want me to roast a friend? Wish someone happy birthday? Anything at all? Cameo.com/Cooper G. If you know any AFL, AFLW players, any state league players, and you want to see them on the channel in a Golging Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Go this!